Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm in the hotel room at the Hilton, and we are actually at Blizzcon 2013. Just got off casting the Hearthstone tournament, and I decided to force a pro gamer to sit down and play my deck of legends, and perhaps mess around with it. So, I managed to kidnap Trump, who will be joining us today, and he's going to be figuring out a way to actually make this deck work, or maybe not. Welcome to the show.
Hello, and today, TotalBiscuit is not the only one in his hotel room. Hooray!
No, he is not. I have a friend now. It's wonderful. It's so nice. I'm not so lonely anymore. All right, so you're looking at the Deck of Legends 3, which is, I believe, 20... It's at least 24 legendaries? It's 24 legendaries.
24, yes.
Yeah, 24 legendaries. I do actually have more than 24 legendaries, but I didn't want to really put old Murkai in there, so I decided to get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I started with a Warlock as my idea for it. It was mostly because I really love Lord Jaraxxus, and also I like the idea of being able to draw more cards quickly, because obviously if you don't get the right cards with the Deck of Legends, you don't really get very far. Do you think that Warlock is the best option, or is there another class that might be worthwhile?
So the first thing when you sort of provided the challenge or the idea to me, I was like, well, I figured that a Deck of Legends would be fairly high in mana cost, and it turns out that it is.
Yeah, just a bit.
The way that my mana curves generally look and constructed would be the opposite. So the 7+ would be in the 2 slot, and the 6 would be in the 3 slot, and all that. So the biggest thing that I figure that is necessary is going to be to reduce the mana curve. The Alarmo bot is cute and cool, and certainly it can do some pretty sick things like get those 7+s out, but I don't think that's consistent enough. You've also got Summoning Portal in here, which I don't think will stick too many times. And Faceless Manipulator, you mentioned to me, was just for the cool value. It's like 2 more legends. Yeah. But I think I'm going to take advantage of the slots there.
Sure.
For something else.
Absolutely. As long as you don't reduce the number of legendaries below 24, then you are welcome to do with it whatever you please.
Absolutely. So I did a bit of thinking, and I think the best way, because of the very high mana curve, is to cheat them out with the Druid. Well,
okay.
Not cheat in particular, it's just to, well, accelerate into them, and Druid is the acceleration class after all.
Indeed it is, yep. We might have to take a legendary out, because I think this is going to go to 25, because we just put old Murkai in there.
Yep.
Who is ultimately not that useful in this deck, unfortunately.
Good catch. Although it might not be the worst one.
No, it actually might not be. I've been thinking that Blood Mage Thalnos is actually particularly bad in this deck, but ultimately it's nice to have a creature out. He also becomes a bit of a bullet magnet and his card draw, so even if he does die and doesn't actually benefit you in any way, then at least you get something out of it.
Right on, and I'm actually going to add one thing which will make Thalnos amazing if I can manage to get it along with Swipe. Alright, and... Huh, that changed the mana curve a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, there's a bit of a spike on the 2s there, and obviously you've got the couple of zeros from the Innovate there.
Right. Oh, I see it. The 0 edition made it look strange. Got it. Right, so, there are some really sick things you can do with this now, like Innervate into King Mukla would be very difficult to deal with. Wild Growth is generally good. The Cenarius, I think, is not one of the strongest legendaries, but it's fine. And Swipe, basically some removal, and any bit of removal you can get, I figure, is
gonna
the
make
best
that
you can
work.
get. Yep. Let's go ahead and call this Legendaries 4.
Indeed. Yeah, I never really considered doing it with a Druid, which sounds really terrible, and I shouldn't say that in polite company. But I always thought, hey, the Warlock, yeah, that makes sense, because I guess I just had that kind of obsession with Jaraxxus. Jaraxxus, of course, is good as well, because it keeps you alive a little bit longer, and survival with that deck is kind of key. But ultimately, if you can't actually play enough cards to be in the situation where you can even last until Lord Jaraxxus, then it's kind of pointless anyway.
Right, you also mentioned that it's important to search for your cards, which is why you chose the Warlock a bit also for the life tap. But I have come to the realization that if you don't have a board presence, you're going to die anyways. And
yeah, it doesn't matter how many cards you got in your hand if you can't play any of them, right?
Yep.
Now, actually doing this in Ranked, and some people are going to be screeching that I'm Platinum 2. Yes, I never really play Constructed. I've got to Platinum 2 with the Deck of Legends. I just want to point that out. I've actually ranked with this thing. It is the only deck that I play in Ranked. So, alright. That's alright.
There we go. Alright, well, opponent also mulliganed all of it. So another reason why I chose Druid is because the hero power actually affects the board, unlike the Warlock. So one of the things I was considering first was Mage, and then I added in stuff like Blizzard and something else. Oh, well, that's an interesting first play.
Yeah, ultimately, not necessarily what I would have expected out of him there. Not the best use of a rock-biter weapon, but hey.
Oh man, Harrison Jones. I hope we face that Doomhammer.
Oh, that would be just amazing. We might actually kill ourselves with card draw. You have to be a bit careful with Harrison Jones. I have Harrison Jones the Jiraxis, and it is actually wonderful.
Oh,
it is just as good as it sounds.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I burned about 4 cards and almost fatigued myself as a result of doing that.
Alright, so swipe on that is overkill.
Yep.
Overspark is too risky. I will just use this.
Alright, fair enough.
And I'm actually going to hit this because swipe can incidentally hit it.
Fair enough. That sounds reasonable. So if he plays another creature, you'll be able to do the swipe on there for the double removal for better value going into that.
Yep.
Malygos is not the best thing in this deck, but he's still a 4/12 ultimately, even if you can't use the spell damage all that much. But of course you do have swipe, so there may be a situation where that might work out.
You're forgetting the most important part. It's a legend.
Yes, it is indeed. I need an Ixia. I'm missing an Ixia for some reason. I'd probably swap
Really?
Malygos out for that. Yeah, I never pulled it. I don't know why. One of the few legendaries I don't own. I think I'm missing, well, aside from class legendaries, I think I'm missing about 2 neutral legendaries.
Alright, we're going to take a risk here.
Alright. Well, it's not the biggest risk in the world to take out a 4/5, and... down.
Didn't you say you always make them squirrels?
Only on my home PC. On my laptop, I have got 80% Devil Saws. I have a feeling there's some weird stuff going on with the random seeding. I don't know. I probably should have mentioned that before we started.
Well, I was thinking like, oh, your decks always make the opponents squirrels, so you let me down there.
Yeah, I'm sorry I did. And that's not good. This is really, really horrible. Oh dear. Well, that's us going down to 10 pretty quickly.
Well, like I always say, the only thing that matters is the last bit of hit points.
Which we're rapidly going to approach, I think, because, yeah...
So I see only one way to clear this board, so I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yep, out comes the swipe. There we go. That takes us down to a rather unhealthy 6.
It's alright though, we got this late game in the bag.
We do. Well, if he starts playing weenies, Baron Geddon's going to come out and very slowly kill us all.
I don't think we can survive Baron Geddon.
No, not really. I did manage to get 3 Baron Geddons on the board at one point, which obviously didn't last long because the other Baron Geddons killed the Baron Geddons, but never mind. Oh, okay, he's going to hit us with a Flame Tongue Totem. I guess that works.
Ooh. Well, that'll keep us alive for now. Yeah.
It's a tricky one here. Ultimately, playing Baron Geddon will actually cause us to die, so that is not a possibility.
Well, that's just a temporary measure, and I don't see any of these legendaries particularly pulling us out of this mess, but maybe they'll draw something.
Oh, but I was told that legendaries are pay to win.
Hey, if he plays everything, we survive 3 more turns and we get Deathwing. I think I got a good chance at this.
We'll be alright at that point. I have played Deathwing and thrown 9 legendaries away before. That was... wow, I have more legendaries than most people have in their collections, and I just tossed them away. Oh dear. Well, here's hoping he doesn't pull a charged creature out. Ultimately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. The healing totem is anything but. Unfortunately, it's going to heal that back up as well. Dragon Link. Position a bit awkward, but hey, that happens. Alright.
I think that's fine.
He's going to put Ancestral on that? Huh. Alright. That's slightly odd, I suppose, but we are on very low health, so I guess that makes sense.
Well, here's the good news and the bad news. The Baron Geddon will clear a lot of stuff.
But it will also very, very quickly kill us and not actually kill everything, will it?
It will actually kill us. So that would be it on this one.
Yes, I think that might be that.
That's a shame.
Yes. Oh well, it happens. It's not a high success rate deck, I have to say. Ultimately, it is one of the decks where you can be completely screwed by your draw in a major way. He's now going to have to figure out that he can kill us. No, you don't have to play cards to do that. Yeah.
Well, that actually makes it slightly harder
Slightly
to go.
delayed the inevitable. Great. That's...
Oh, thanks for grandstanding, you.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay.
Alright.
Well, that was not the best start,
Not the best.
but it happens. It can happen to the best of us with the best decks.
Yep.
And this is most assuredly not the best deck.
Alright.
Quite the opposite.
Time for some revenge.
Alright, let's see what we get. Hopefully not him again. Although maybe him again. It depends what we get early on. I tend to find if you get a few 2s out, or if you get like an early muckler or anything like that, then things start to like run a little better.
That's true enough.
Without that though, it is a little bit tricky, I have to admit. And none of the heroes are massively good at using hero powers to stay alive. You know, I've considered doing it with a warrior, just for the sake of it, but ultimately, it then becomes, if you want to play Gromash, it becomes difficult to trigger his Enrage without actually taking spells to do it. It's possible, but... Well, that's not going to help.
Alright, well, we can go for that Innervate Mukla. Come on, come on.
Let's roll the dice on this one, and...
Hey, that's pretty good.
Okay. Fair enough. And Rag again. Hey, he just doesn't want to leave, does he? Oh, well, never mind. A hunter, okay. Well, this means we could die even faster than usual. That can be problematic.
Oh, it looks like it's one of those one-turn hunter kill decks.
Yeah.
This deck isn't going to be able to erase it, typically, but we'll see what happens.
You recognize that by simply the turn
The tracking,
one tracking?
yeah.
Yeah. So...
Although, not... It's possible that it's not.
Deathwing. Yeah, that's probably not what we were looking for there. We're playing Race Up to Illidan right now. So that's an Illidan next turn, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And then we hope to draw cards that cost 5 or less.
Which, well, we have a decent amount of them. Not too terrible.
Alright, he is not prepared for this.
No, they never are.
Oh, that is not too bad.
Yeah. That should work.
Oh,
the Mighty Millhouse Mana Storm that could get us horribly killed.
Yeah, not today. Alright. Oh my gosh, Legendaries. Wow, how is that fair?
It isn't. Not at all. But it was extremely well played, let's be honest. Alright. Now he comes out with a deadly shot.
Oh,
yeah,
bummer.
that's... I keep forgetting that's a beast. Alright, never mind. Alright, so the monkey killed Illidan. That was embarrassing. We may have to prepare to face the might of Millhouse Mana Storm.
Absolutely.
Oh no.
What's the worst that could happen?
Well, it's not a rogue, so it can't be that bad. Oh dear. Alright, let's see what he can pull with this. At least it's a hunter. Like, ultimately, there's not that many great things you can... Oh,
Alright, it's a free kill command. It's 1 for 1.
Well, I mean, that was both of his kill commands. They're gone. So,
Yep.
That's good, because at least that's a pretty powerful direct removal that he no longer has. Thunder's Boar. Alright. Well, he's not been able to do too much damage to us so far. So.
Alright, just you wait until we get to 10 mana.
Yeah.
Clear his board.
What do we pull? Tinkmaster Overspark.
That is not very good.
Not really. I mean, get rid of the taunt, I guess, but then
Yeah,
it could still
don't kill
become a
the
Devil
wolf.
Stall. It was Devil
I
Soul.
wonder if the Devil Sword is a beast. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
it? I guess it would
almost
be a
certain
beast,
it
wouldn't it? Yeah. Ultimately, we don't want to really give him that, because that would be a 6/5.
Yeah, the question is...
Do you want to toss the coin? Are you feeling lucky?
Right, that is the question, and I figure that if this doesn't go our... I mean, it's already not going our way, so we gotta go for big plays here.
Oh, god damn it.
That's not very good.
No,
but
not really.
that is the way to kill the wolf.
Yep, at least it gets rid of the taunt. We're going to take a beating next turn. I'm trying to think of one on 6 or 7 we could pull that would actually help here. Ultimately, not much. Unless he somehow gives that thing a taunt with a Houndmaster, and then we get Black Knight. Then we're alright.
Yeah, or the swipe would be pretty good if he attacks with the 5/5 and the 2/2.
Yeah. Let's see.
I wonder if that is a beast. Yes, it is.
Oh dear.
Learned something new today.
Don't use Tinkmaster Overspark against Hunter decks. Alright, he's going right for us. Alright, so he's behind the taunt wall. That's to be expected. Leroy!
Well, that makes a bad problem slightly less bad.
Are you thinking Tink Master and Hero Power into the bear and then Leroy to kill the Devil Saw? Or?
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm thinking. And seems good to me.
Alright. Yeah, it seems like the best option. At least we do have Rag next turn, which is going to be quite nice.
Leroy Jenkins.
There we go. Splat he goes. One of the things I liked about Alarmabot was the ability to bring him into the game early without having to worry about those whelps.
Yeah,
very nice.
It's not bad. Now I've played this a bit. I think Alarmobot was actually a great call, although I'm sure you play it a lot of times and they have a random 3-2 on the board.
It can happen. It depends. I mean, it really is just like, it's a coin toss for the most part. So if you go second, Alarmabot is generally pretty good. Because, you know, maybe there's a weaker thing on the board, but it's not enough to kill Alarmabot.
Alright, so the current status is, it seems like the loss is going to happen unless the Rhino is dealt with. What can Goblin Mechatork summon to help us out here?
A Poultryizer, possibility.
That's at the end of turn?
Pretty sure
or
that
start?
only fights at the start of the turn,
Right.
though, so that wouldn't help too much. I mean, you can RNG on Rag, but that's a 1 in 5 that it gets what you what you want.
That's the best I'm gonna get.
Yeah, pretty much.
Come on.
Maybe not. Well, he may not have something that can activate off that charge. It's a high main, isn't it? All that, I guess that works too. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, never mind, we gave him the whelps that killed us. I guess that's pretty standard.
Welp, that happened.
It does. It does. Well, so much for that idea. Do you wish to modify the deck, or do you wish to attempt it again?
No, I think this is good.
Alright, let's see if we can get a win with this thing.
Alright, one more. Tempted to put it in the unranked.
Unranked is pretty good because we usually go up against gimmick decks, so by all means. I don't mind you killing my win ratio.
Let's do one on this one.
Alright,
Greater
let's see
chances of winning, I'd say.
Yes, that's always a wonderful thing. Whenever I record a video, I make sure to go up against the worst players possible for great success rates.
Ah, yes.
Although I found Unranked has actually had some really good players in it lately. They just don't, because they don't want to mess with their rank when they're trying weird decks. So it can result in some pretty fun games, but also some nasty crushing games. What do you think is kind of the... I mean, obviously I've seen your decks lists for Constructed. You're not much of a Constructed player, but what do you think is kind of the optimal number of Legendaries that you would expect to see, like, in a really good deck?
I would expect to see somewhere between a 0 and 3.
Yeah. Which kind of the sure things for you?
I don't think any Legendary is a sure thing, which is nice, because...
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Right. In my tournament decks at Blizzcon, you may have noticed that I ran Sylvanas in all of my decks.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. And that's because it's a good card for control.
Yes, it is. It's something you have to play around, which gets a little bit weird.
Sweet, an Revolt coin. So, it's like...
Can't do it yet, but...
At 3 mana, that would be the plan.
Are you going to go for Ken, I imagine?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, Ken's great. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I actually considered running him in my actual decks, but the problem is, as you noticed, the decks tend to be really cutthroat at the
highest possible level.
Yes.
Yeah. That is definitely true. I've heard a lot of hype surrounding Ysera. I know Crip swears by Ysera and Ragnaros. Would you agree with that? Wow, I have some kind of special power. That's scary.
Take that. Well, Ysera and Ragnaros, they're two of the Legendaries which actually do something as soon as they come into play, and that's why they're considered pretty good. And not only do they do something that's devastating if they don't deal with it.
Indeed. So,
yeah, I'd say those two are some of the top when it comes to top level decks. Alright, time for Cairn.
I believe so. Vacant coin, and there is Mr. Ken Bloodhoof, who, for those of you who don't know, he's a 4/5, but if he dies, Bane Bloodhoof, who is also a 4/5, comes into play, so he's a giant harvest golem.
I like to think of him as Double Yeti.
Yep, that is also very true. Alright, there's the trigger.
Very
Which
cute.
is still not enough to... I mean, he's probably just going to go in on us, I would think, at that point. Oh, never mind. That's actually enough to kill it. But he's going to take one swing at us and then one swing at Ken. So that's going to leave us with Bane, which is still fine.
Very reasonable.
Yep. He used a lot to make that happen, so...
Oh, excellent.
Okay, cool.
That's what I'm talking about.
Excellent. Splat that.
Hey, we actually have board control for once.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, isn't it? On this deck, it's really rare. Depressingly so. I tend to find what can happen early on if you are able to get out a Lorewalker Cho, and then they just freak out, have no idea what they're doing, and just make really strange, odd plays. That can get you board control through some weird mental battle that's going on.
So I'm tempted to play the Black Knight, but Druids tend to have big taunts. Tankmaster Overspark's not too bad. Well, actually, he's pretty bad.
It's actually terrible. Ultimately awful.
I mean, when I compare it with the others. Well, the question is, do I feel like he's got a taunt? I figure that he would have played the 5-mana bear if he had it. So I'm going to just not play around it.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, big taunts, we actually have really big creatures. So, you know, if if he ends up playing an Ironbark, then we do have Ragnaros, so we'll probably be okay.
They pull out an Ironbark, you pull out a Ragnaros.
Indeed. And then they're very sad.
Half the time.
Indeed. Although then he just charges his Ironbark right at Rag and they just kill each other, but...
True.
Alright, that actually doesn't kill it, so I guess that's okay. I mean, at least he's going to take some damage from that, so... And that was his second swipe, wasn't it? So he's out now.
Yeah, although Swipe isn't very good against this deck.
No, it ultimately isn't.
I didn't even think about the Leroy's Swipe combo.
Ah, but did you consider the Leroy Tinkmaster combo? Which ultimately makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, the good news is that the hero ability...
No, here's how it works. You play the Leroy, you charge with the Leroy, you then... toss 50-50 on turning Leroy into a 5/5 Devil Sword that doesn't die to the whelps. It's perfect. You can't beat that combination. But as you also mentioned, Swipe is nice, but unfortunately you are 1 mana short of it. You can remove one of the whelps with the hero power.
Right, but then he can also hero ability, but I think that's still the right call. Since I wanted to consider the possibility of Leroy plays Swipe next turn. But that would be the Ragnaros turn.
Indeed.
And then after that, it would be the Ysera turn. We've got the 2 best top-end legendaries here.
We do. My next level Leroy Mechatalk combo is going to have to wait till another day, I think.
I'm a little excited about Malagos Swipe also.
Yeah. That's so much fun. Alright, yep, I guess that's one way of getting rid of it. That's fine. Alright, so we'll take a little bit of damage. Ultimately, though, we have got to the later game, which means we actually have a shot now.
Yep, so Swipe would actually clear his board. The question is balancing that against Ragnaros, and I actually think the Swipe is more appropriate here.
Alright. Yeah, I think you're probably right. We ultimately already have a card advantage, so... And we're actually pretty close in health. In fact, we're identical now, so... Yeah, that works. That was both of our swipes gone, though, wasn't it? So that's all of our spells done.
Yep. I think we have 1 Wild Growth and 1 Innervate left in this deck.
Yes, and then everything else is coming up Legendaries. Hopefully not coming up Millhouse at this point.
Millhouse at this point is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, so he's got his bear. Fair enough. Well, now that's perfect time for Rag. Or Tinkmaster.
Or Ysera. That's a tough choice.
You are spoiled for choice at this point. Bloodmage Thalnos.
That is not the choice.
No, it isn't.
Alright, well... Seems
So
like
I've got a
Ragnaros
Bloodmage
for the 50/50.
Mecha Mechatalk combo, which turns Bloodmage Thalnos into a 5/5 Devil Sword.
That's not bad.
No, it's a terrible idea.
Alright, let's go for the 50/50.
Alright, what do we get?
Yeah,
What
it
do we
doesn't
get?
matter which one
There
hits.
you go.
I preferred that
That's
one.
what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Alright, now he pulls a Naturalize.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, that's okay. We have plenty more where that came from.
Yeah, the rough thing about Druids also is they've got no way to deal with these big guys other than Naturalize.
Yeah, which is not the best way of dealing with them. It's nice and cheap, but... okay. I have a feeling it's getting a little bit desperate here. Ultimately not the best play.
Alright, well...
Cool. Or Legendaries.
Wow, the Innervate actually really helps here.
It does.
Because we can get to 12 mana. That is fantastic. So, I think that needs to become something that I'll play Sarah. Sweet. Yeah.
Yep, that will do it. Let's hope for the squirrel. I swear, a 5/5 Devil Sword every time. I think I've only ever had a squirrel once on this computer. I'm almost certain of it. There's some conspiracy going on. At home, I always get squirrel. Alright, well, it would have been nice to splat that, but what do we get? Nightmare? Alright.
Nightmare.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see if he gets rid of Tinkmaster. If not, fun times abound. Alright, what is he gonna pull out? And that's a lot of threats.
Yep. Just the 3/2.
A Panther, okay.
Cute. Oh, the other way. Okay.
He's gonna rush down? Okay. Not entirely convinced by that.
Alright, so to deal with the 9/5, I think Tinkmaster Nightmare is going to go lead the charge. Take care of the Panther with Ysera. Let's see what happens with no, actually, Malagos instead of this RNG thing. Yeah. He's only got one card left. We got this in the bag.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the victory we're looking for here. There's the 7/7. Down goes that. Down goes that. And then you're going to get a nice big fireball.
Bam.
Alright. Now let's hope he doesn't pull two
Sarah
Starfires.
Awakens. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Unfortunately, that would kill us.
Yeah, it would. That's sad. Oh, if only we could armor up just a little bit more.
Oh, we can make that 11
Oh, Alexstrasza! We can actually pull it off, but we'd have to do it next turn, though.
Too bad. Alright, so... looks like sending both of them into the tree is the way to go. And I think I'll just heal up to 15 with Alexstrasza.
Yeah, that's probably for the best, I think. At least we get another card out of Ysera before she goes down next turn, inevitably.
To the Goldshire footman of all things.
That might happen.
Oh, what an embarrassment.
Indeed. I almost thought he just disconnected. It's like, screw everything about what's happening to me right now.
It's fun. I've never been able to play a lot of these before.
Now you get to play all of them. Alright. Well.
Yeah, okay.
One more card out of that. Oh, it's another Nightmare. Alright.
This will be severe overkill now.
It's River Crocolisk. Now it's happening. Oh, he elected not to kill your Ysera for some reason. Alright.
Alright.
Now your Ysera awakens.
Draw it up?
Yeah, do it.
Really?
Well, is it done that? It's all characters, right? Or is it all minions?
That is all.
It's all characters. It kills them.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we healed.
Wipe out everybody.
Fantastic.
GG. There we go. Success. That's an interesting variant on it. That is a really interesting variant.
Well, this is a super fun deck.
It is, and utterly impractical. I need to get the rest of the Legendaries. That's going to be a pain. The last $50 pack I think I bought gave me one Legendary that I didn't have, two that I did, so they had to be DE'd, and then enough dust to get like two more.
Yeah,
so it's like $25 a Legendary at this point. It's ridiculous.
I am incredibly curious as to which ones you're missing.
I think you have to go to crafting mode to check that out.
Oh, did I not press it?
Nope. There you go.
Mistakes were made.
Indeed they were. Alright.
Alright, Captain Greenskin.
Yeah, I haven't got the... I could just get him right now with the pirates. I'm just missing, like, one of the pirates. Obviously I have Deathwing and gold. I'm missing Onyxia.
And I think that's it, Onyxia. And Greenskin.
Yeah, Onyxia and Greenskin, and I'm missing a couple of class legendaries, I think.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Alakia, the most useful legendary.
I don't laugh too much at him. It's, I think it's not as bad as it looks, though.
It is as bad as it looks, isn't it? It's actually as bad as it looks.
Yeah.
I think that might need a buff, ultimately.
Maybe. It's
a little silly. Trump, thank you very much. Now, for those of you who don't know, Trump is a very regular Hearthstone streamer. He was also a participant, a semi-finalist in the BlizzCon Hearthstone Innkeepers Invitational. Now, I would strongly recommend, if you wish to play Hearthstone, that you do go and watch his stream. It's very cool. It's very chilled back and relaxed, and you will learn a lot about how Arena is played. Can you tell the viewers back home exactly where to go to find your stream?
Sure, awesome. It's over at twitch.tv/TrumpSC. I tend to play a lot of Arena, although after this BlizzCon, I think I'm going to jump a bit more into Constructed, especially after they make the ranks changes up.
Yes, the Wood League is now an actual thing, which is great.
Oh, exciting. I didn't know about that. I was more talking about the fact that you know your rank now.
Yeah, the bottom 5 ranks, are the little thing in the back is actually made of wood, so there is now a Wood League.
Fantastic.
Pretty sure they did that on purpose. Now, you recently acquired a sponsorship from Razer, if I recall correctly?
Yes, I did.
Indeed, we were playing on your folded-over Razer mousepad because the Goliathus is too large to fit on the hotel desk.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that Razer has decided to take a look into, well, myself and also Hearthstone. And as we can see from the BlizzCon turnout for Hearthstone today, which was enormous.
Yep. Over 100,000 concurrent viewers, and we packed the WoW Hall. I think we actually had more people in there for Hearthstone than they did for the actual WoW, which I thought was great.
That is fantastic.
That was ultimately awesome. Trump, thank you very much for spending your time with us today. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright guys, remember to check out his stream. It is absolutely fantastic. He is usually one of the top-ranked streamers over on twitch.tv, and it's a really good thing to watch or just have in the background. So that was the revamped Druid Legendaries deck with 24 Legendaries and a fairly poor win-loss ratio. My name's been TotalBiscuit here with Trump. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.